very good evening to all of you. My name is Ivan Di Mello, and today we are here to actually discuss about a topic which has recently highlighted, and there are 5 teachers here who are experienced in their career, and I would welcome their opinions on this topic. So we have Miss Revati, Miss Subhashini, Miss Harisha, Mr. Nimalan, and Mr. Sujit. They are all teachers, and thank you very much, teachers, for accepting my invitation in this short notice. So the topic today will be, do vernacular schools destroy multicultural education in Malaysia? And what are the implications of having or not having vernacular schools in our education system? So before we proceed with this session, I would like to start this session with a prayer. So I will request your silence and prayer. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahavir Yam Kadavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Vitvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. May peace prevail everywhere. So I would like to invite Teacher Harisha to do the honors as the first person to share her opinion on our today's topic. Over to you, Harisha.
Okay, good day to all teachers. My name is Teacher Harisha. I'm glad to be a part of this forum of the Sociology and Physiology of Education in Malaysia assignment. I am currently a teacher in SK Sekrahat, and to answer the questions as whether vernacular school destroy multicultural education in Malaysia, I disagree, as vernacular school also promote multicultural education in Malaysia and does not destroy it. In my opinion, vernacular schools are not a barrier to multiculturalism schools, but there are certain factors that make it looks like it is a barrier. Being in a vernacular school, you only mingle with your own culture. That may be the reason that they can mingle easily with others. There are also mixed races in vernacular schools, and they get along well with others. And I don't feel that is a barrier of multiculturalism in races in school. So that's all for me. Thank you.
Thank you, Teacher Harisha. That was a very good input. I really appreciate. And I would also like to invite Teacher Subhashini to continue the session. Thank you very much, Teacher Harisha.
Hi, good day all teachers. Thank you for giving me this opportunity to share my opinion regarding our topic of the day. First and foremost, let me to introduce myself. I am Subhashini Ganesan, maths teacher from SK Jaranto Jaya Pahang. In my opinion, I believe that vernacular school is not the barrier of our unity compared to the existing one. There are so many reasons and factors outside be the reason for our unity affected. For an example, quality versus quota system. That is, I would like to highlight for today, which is really well known in issue in Malaysia. This is a situation where a lot of students who are non-Bumi are struggling to get a seat in matriculations, especially to pursue their tertiary studies. Even their results are flying colors. However, Bumi students are eligible for the seat with quota system. It doesn't sound biased at the very first. This is clearly shows that our unity has been affected due to no valuations towards their effort has been taken for very long. It doesn't make sense at all where vernacular school be the reason for a barrier towards our unity. Thank you.
I totally agree with you, Ms. Shubhashini, because like you said, we actually during our schooling days, we strived a lot during SPM, STPM, study day and night, burning our midnight oil. And yet when there is when the moment when we actually try for government universities, it is like nearly too impossible to get a seat because of the quota system. So this is something which is very biased in our education system. So rather putting the focus in abolishing or keeping vernacular school, maybe we can actually focus on issues like this, like how long we have to be putting ourselves and the generations to come in this quota system. It has already been 60 years since independence, right? So I think maybe it is a time for us to reshuffle things and to provide better future for our upcoming generation. Thank you very much for your input, Ms. Shubhashini. And we will proceed with Mr. Sujit. Mr. Sujit, over to you.
Hi, I'm Sujit from Vikash International School of Kuala Lumpur. In my opinion regarding this topic, actually, Malaysia known for our multicultural. Everybody celebrates Deepavali, everybody celebrates Hari Raya, everybody celebrates Christmas, everybody celebrates Chinese New Year, and we appreciate other cultures because we appreciate our own culture. And even in food, we don't see difference. A lot of Indians' house, if it is Sunday, it will be nasi lemak with chicken sambal. And we can see a lot of Malays doing vadai nowadays and thosai nowadays. And Chinese also likes to eat Indian food and Malay food. We can see this even in food. We don't see different, even though we are studied from different schools, sekolah jenis kebangsaan. And how we appreciate this, because we appreciate our own language and we appreciate our own culture. When we appreciate something owned by us, and we will start seeing the beauty in others and beautiful things in other cultures, where we start enjoying them, start mingling with them. So these schools won't be barrier to for Malaysians become one and always stands together. And we can see in everywhere, wherever now also we can see, from food, dressings. When we go to Menengah school, we can see a lot of Chinese and Indians wearing baju kurung. Why so? Because we start appreciating our own culture, and from there we start appreciating others. And how this culture can be appreciated only by learning our own languages, learning our own culture, where it will happen only in a vernacular schools. So the teachers will start, when we appreciate this, we appreciate others. So in my opinion, vernacular school needed, and because we have different religion here, a different culture, where we have to learn all this. We don't have a proper place to learn. So only schools where not a place only to learn education, it's a place to learn our culture, learn our discipline. So I think vernacular school needed in Malaysia, so all of us can appreciate our own culture and appreciate other culture. We can see in many multi-religion countries where their languages have been gone, have been abolished because of language. Their culture have gone. So it should not happen in Malaysia, because we are known for our multicultural and multi-religious country. So I think Tamil schools and Chinese school will help for all these, and they the students will appreciate their own culture and start appreciate others' culture also. So I think we should not support to vanish this Tamil schools and Chinese school, and we have to keep, and maybe we can make some changes in our total education system where they can learn Malay from standard 1 or English from standard 1. You know, we have been exposed with multi languages. It won't be a barrier for students to learn extra languages. That's all from me. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teacher Sujit, for your valuable input. I totally agree the part where if we learn how to appreciate and respect our own language and culture, that will actually pave the way to actually respect and celebrate other language and culture. That was actually what I was also agreeing on. And thank you very much for putting it on words in the session. We will follow the session with Ms. Revati. Thank you, Ms. Revati, for joining us today. Over to you.
My name is Revati, and I'm glad to be a part of this forum for the Sociology and Philosophy of Education in Malaysia assignment. I am currently a teacher at Sekolah Kebangsaan Matriz. To answer the question as to whether vernacular schools destroy multicultural education in Malaysia, I totally disagree with that. In my opinion, vernacular schools are not a barrier to multiculturalism. At the current millennium, we can see most of the parents have started to send their children to vernacular schools, and this includes Malay parents too. Children of various races who attend to vernacular schools get to explore others' traditions better, and this helps them to understand their differences among their races. With vernacular schools, it is more effective to promote and to strengthen the unity between multiracial kids compared to the national schools, which do not have the access to access to the other traditions or multiracial kids. So that's from me. Over to you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Revati. Yeah, so like what you just said, it is true. Compared to the national school, our vernacular school actually provide more exposure to that particular language and the culture associated to it. So regardless, we as parents, maybe some of us might be married, we have kids. Maybe when our kids go to vernacular school, it is not necessary like we have to be Chinese to go to a Chinese school or an Indian to go to Tamil school. Me being an Indian, I can send my child to a Mandarin school, and my child can actually be exposed to the Mandarin language and also the Chinese culture. Same goes to if a Chinese parent, if he or she wants to send their kid, his kid or her kid, to a Tamil school, the same way that Chinese kid will actually be exposed and be able to be equipped with the Indian culture along with the Tamil language. So this will not necessarily happen in a sekolah menengah kebangsaan, a national school. Yes, like what you just said, this will not be a barrier because even though kids are sent to vernacular school, at the end, they all unite when they go to sekolah menengah, to their secondary studies. So the unity actually happens there. But before we invoke this unity, we have to establish these young kids with their own identity as in terms of their own ethnicity, their own mother language, and also their own culture, because without knowing that, how will they be able to appreciate the others? So valid point. Thank you very much, Ms. Revati. And lastly, we will pass the session to Teacher Nimalan. Thank you very much, Teacher Nimalan, for joining us. Over to you.
A very good evening to Mr. Ivan and also dear teachers. My name is Mr. Sri Nimalan, a biology teacher from Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan Jalan Reko, Kajang. On the mentioned notion by Mr. Ivan, are there any implications of having and not having vernacular schools? There are implications of not having vernacular school, and this is because, and the implications are, which one of the points pointed out by Mr. Sujit, in which a culture is sustained and preserved by its language. So without language, there can be no presence, or there can be no sustenance of a particular culture in a community. So vernacular school promotes that culturalism through implementing mother language in their curriculums. So for an example, in Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan in my school, Jalan Reko, the POL class, in which attended by non-Muslim students, let it be Mandarin class or Tamil class, it only happens after school hours, whereas in the Islamic studies are being implemented in the timetable, in the curricular schedule itself, where in which Muslim students, Malay students, go and learn Jawi and also Islamic studies. And during this time, the non-Muslim students go for moral class, in which language, their mother tongue, is not being taught. Malaysia, being a multiracial, multicultural, named for its multi-diversity in terms of race and also culture, needs to preserve that particular aspect of culturalism, and that only can be done through language, in which vernacular school promotes mother language in their curriculum, in their curriculums. So in which I would say that if there is no vernacular schools in Malaysia, the implication of preserving our culture, let it be being Chinese, Indian, or Malay, will come to, how do we say, a negative effect to our cultural aspect in Malaysia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Teacher Nimalan. Yep, actually, recently in the year 2018, there was actually a newspaper cut where there was a debate among citizens where do we need POL class, and why not we actually replace Pendidikan Moral class with POL class, pupil own language class. So this made me actually think when this topic arose, and I was actually doing this assignment for the course. I actually was thinking about why not instead of abolishing vernacular school or trying to find reason to not have vernacular school, why not we can abolish vernacular school if there is statistics showing that these schools are contributing to a degrade in multiculturalism in Malaysia, then yes, we can. But still, we have to know that it will be a shame to our country if we do not celebrate our languages. We do understand that the national language is Bahasa Melayu, and we all have to study that. Still, that doesn't mean that we have to neglect our mother tongue and lose our cultural or ethnic identity. Yes, for POL class, which is out of our schedule, our school hours, can actually be brought in as within the school hours. And those language can also be made mandatory for those who are enrolling or uptaking that class. Like Pendidikan Islam is made mandatory for the Muslims, just like how Pendidikan Moral are for the non-Muslims. Instead of having Pendidikan Moral, which is a general thing, we can actually replace it with Pendidikan Bahasa Mandarin or Pendidikan Bahasa Tamil. And at this place where we have Chinese and Tamil implemented in Sekolah Kebangsaan or Sekolah Menengah Kebangsaan, we can also have Jawi, because recently they introduced Jawi writing system, and in fact the Ministry of Education wanted to make it mandatory for the vernacular school. But many people don't see the need why Chinese and Indians need to actually study the Jawi writing system, because they are already being taught with Tamil writing system and Mandarin writing system, including Bahasa Malaysia and Bahasa English. So adding another writing system, Jawi, is like too much on their plate. So if the Ministry of Education willing to remove vernacular system and standardize the entire education system in one linear line, and not having vernacular as the parallel lines, then yes, that can be achieved. But by including Tamil and Mandarin in our national schools and making them mandatory for Mandarin speaking and Tamil speaking students. It should not be as a choice. When they fill up forms, school related forms, they have to mention their ethnicity, correct? So school should be responsible. Chinese should take Mandarin class mandatorily. Same goes to the Indian students. They have to go Tamil language classes at the time where the Malay students go for their Jawi class. We can also have religious classes in school, because our very first obligation towards this country as a citizen is kepercayaan kepada Tuhan. That's the very first obligation in our Rukun Negara. So as a fellow Malaysian, you have to be sincere and devoted to the religion that you belong to, the faith that you practice. So without religious studies in school, you will not be able to see devoted or religious citizen in the upcoming batches of our fellow Malaysians. So when we have Pendidikan Islam, why not we have also Pendidikan Agama Christian? We have Bible class for the fellow Christians. And for the Hindus, we can have classes based on Bhagavad Gita. And for the Buddhists, teachings of Buddha. So yes, it will require a lot of effort. We need to train teachers. We have to have syllabus from the experts from the Ministry of Education. However, it is not impossible. If the government can make changes like bringing Jawi into our education system, they definitely can accommodate this kind of needs. They are not wants, they are actually needs to build a multicultural nation, which is our Malaysia. So thank you very much, Mr. Nimalan, and also thank you very much for all our teachers here today. I think this discussion is very eye-opening, and I hope that this will also be fruitful for us to ponder further and to cater the needs of our future generation. Thank you very much, teachers. I would like to wrap up this session with a prayer. So I request your silence. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Thank you very much. We'll all meet soon. Thank you.